you were responsible not only for your careers, man, but a lot of people don't know, like you got Jodeci started. I think you discovered Jodeci, I believe, on tour or whatnot. And of course, Heavy
Yeah,
D,
wow.
guy, man, from Mount Vernon.
Man, let me tell you something. It was such a blessing. The way it all started, just every day, I was playing football, and I had little letters to go to some had some interest from different schools, and I was really into the sports thing. So imagine having to tell a single mother with 3 jobs that, yeah, Mom, I'm gonna make music, and we're gonna eat off the music. And she was looking at me like I had 3 heads, but she, she believed, and so we every day we're in the basement. It's myself, Kyle West. We're working on some music, doing so on and so forth. Then I saved a little money, bought a 4-track. My best friend in high school was DJ Eddie F. He was the best DJ in Mount Vernon. We were just doing our thing. And every day we're in there just, making demos. He's scratching records, making beats. I'm recording everything, and I'm singing backgrounds on it. Then this incredible young man by the name of Dwight Heavy D Myers came in, and the first demo we cut, and I think I have the cassette around here somewhere because we're still unpacking. Like, I done found all the ADATs and everything around here. There you go.
ADATs. Oh, wow.
Wow. All right.
Rest in peace. So he comes in, we doing the thing, and he puts it down. So one day there was a flood in the basement, and Eddie and I we were listening to some songs. I think it was like Beastie Boys and Run DMC, and we would always see this really cool logo, and it said Def Jam on it. So in our youth's ignorance, we think, all right, well, let's just call. So I go over to in the flood, and I pick up a thing called the Yellow Pages for the young people. There was no internet, there was no, and it was halfway wet. So I picked it up, and I'm trying to draft the pages, and I look it up, and I was like, Eddie, so I found the number Def Jam. So I'm like, okay. So I dial from the basement phone, and I call, and I say, hello, sir. May I please speak to Russell Simmons? And he's like, who's this? So so imagine nobody knows. I said, well, my name is Al B. Shore from Money Earning Mount Vernon. And then I think one of his responses at one time, he says, you mean all y'all bushy niggas that think y'all from the Bronx? excuse the language. But right. So, but it was, it was in a joking manner. So, then boom, another phone call. And in fact, what happened was I think I saw Dre. He was on the Breakfast Club, like, a few weeks back, and he was talking about, he thought it was actually Heavy calling him, but it was me and Eddie calling from the basement. So I just kept being persistent. Now, mind you, we young kids from Mount Vernon, and we just think this is what we're supposed to do. So we just kept calling and kept calling. So finally, it got to the point where I said, I really want to speak to Russell Simmons. We did the demo over, and we did this and we did that, and we keep doing these. I said, who am I speaking with? And he said, this is Andre Harrell. I was like, I want to talk to Russell Simmons. so that was kind of the start of it, just in terms of just making the introduction. And then Hev, of course, and Eddie Rebels followed up, and they set up that first meeting, and they went, because I wasn't necessarily in the group. I was just, singing background and doing production, and just, we had a crew.
All there to Uptown, man. Jodeci, of course, is a legendary group. Of course, Heavy D or whatnot. So, and Donny and Don, look, the music industry, our culture lost, like as you mentioned, the name Andre Harrell a couple of weeks ago, man. It's been 2 weeks, and reflecting back, and of course, I know you got many memories, Al, but I want to get Don a little bit more in the conversation here, man. When I first heard the news, I know it was shocking to me, because like when we lost Heavy, that was way too soon. So Don, what was your reaction when you found out that Andre Harrell had passed away?
Yeah, I'm shocked. I'm like, wow, is this something that has to do with the coronavirus? Like, because a lot of major name people have been passing away, but it's just shocked, because he wasn't, at least I didn't know that he was sick, or, you didn't hear that anything was ill with it. It just came out of nowhere, This guy's a major player in the entertainment industry, is working for both, and you expect these people who affect your life to kind of have to be there always, and it's
immortality
when they're gone. Yeah, you just you get so used to them. Andre's just there, he's just there, and he's not. And it was just a shocker to see that he's gone.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Donnie, I mean, you know about Andre Harrell. I've always heard that every time he was around somebody, he made them feel so much better about themselves. And Al, of course, you know him. They, of course, started Uptown Records or whatnot. Man, what would you say was his biggest contribution to not just our culture, but just in society in general, or to yourself personally?
Hell, I gotta say, in all honesty, I think Andre's most significant contribution was his unselfish nature. His even my last conversation with Andre, this is the morning that Colby passed away. We were at the Grammys. We had a meeting that morning to discuss, the new Uptown Records miniseries, and it was myself, Paxton Baker. He formerly, he ran Centric and BET, and we just sat down and had the most wonderful conversation. But in that, we talked about making sure that the story is told properly. And the second thing out of his mouth, he says, "You know what, B?" He says, we had nicknames for each other because I used to call him Baby Berry Gordy. He would call me Baby Quincy Jones. And he said, "Yo, B," he says, let me tell you something, man. He's like, "Yo, B, listen, this is just Dre Meach, Dre." He's like, "Yo, listen, money, listen. This is gonna be the DC Marvel comics of how it's gonna go down, because we're gonna get the Uptown story." And this is quote unquote from Andre. He says, "Night one, it's gonna be a 3-night series." He says, "Night one, Heavy D. Bam. Night two, I'll Be Sure. Night three, Guy. And then we're gonna sprinkle it with Mary and Puff and this and all that, and then Father MC and everything and so on and so forth." And then he said, all this is, and his unselfish, as usual nature. And he said, "This is just a setup, because then I'm executive producing your life story. We got to tell your story." And then, like the new edition of Bobby Brown, but immediately it jumped from Drake, "I'm here," because what he wanted to do, one of his ideas was, he says, he wanted me to come in as a producer and writer, because people didn't realize that. Like I said, I didn't walk around with my flag, so I never talked about the significance of, whether it's me being the first platinum artist on Uptown or the first #1 artist. I feel so blessed that this man even listened to my demo. Please listen to my demo. You know what I'm saying? Eddie F, because Eddie F, he just kept my cassette in his back pocket. So every time he was around them, I was just in the backdrop, on the support team, and he heard, I think what he tells the story. In fact, I'm going to do a post soon and then talk about it. His last interview. And he says, they were doing the Big Time album, and Hev missed his studio time. They had, some event or something to go to, Hev and Eddie. And I just said, "Hey, can I use the studio? Since you're going to have to pay for it, can I use it?" And he was like, "Yeah, go ahead, do your thing." And I came back, and I think I either brought Night and Day or Off on Your Own Girl to him. And he was like, "Nah, really, B? Like, this is what you do?" Because I never, to me, like, everybody has their turn. It was so significant that Hev and Eddie and everybody got theirs off. But again, an unselfish Eddie F as well, and Hev, they're like, "Yo, but our man, he can get down too, and he does this, and he does it on this side." So
it's good to have that
Wow.
kind of people, man.
Yeah.
It's good to have, like that era, Don, that era, Donnie, just it meant so much to our culture. But once again, man, you talk about Mary J. Blige, Heavy D, Guy, I'll Be Sure, all these guys, Jodeci,
Father MC,
their father,
Finessence and Quist, like just, man, Woody Rock.
Donnie,
And wait, but hello, guess what? You know the name that we are forgetting, and that people don't realize that he was also part of the family. First of all, you had Martin Lawrence, right? And then who I gave his first job to was a young man by the name of Chris Rock. Wow, so Chris Rock used to open up for me every night on like the little hotel tour before we kind of blew up, and we just loved Chris because he was brilliant and a genius. Wow! So he's part of the Uptown family.
Wow, I mean, I'm looking forward to the series coming out, Don, and so like just what you remember about that era, that Uptown sound, because a lot of people feel like it actually revived R&B.
I my memory of Andre Harrell though is the best thing he ever did was fire Diddy, because Diddy shaped my whole upbringing as a teenager with the whole bad boy sound. I was in love with Heavy D, Mary J. Blige, all that stuff. But the best thing he ever did was fire Diddy, so Diddy can get out there and go push a new sound in the music.
Hey, Dre was also a teacher. You know what I mean? And I remember me and him in in Tommy Silverman's office, and we in Tommy Silverman's office, and we in front of the whole staff. You know what I'm saying? And it's me and him, and he's sitting there, and Tommy Silverman tried to say something about hip hop. You know what I mean? Try to say something to Dre to teach him about hip hop, and Dre check the whole staff, right, in a real intelligent way. So then we come on, so I'm hyping up the music, and Dre, you know how Dre would look out, he'd just look at you like this, like, you know what I mean? He wouldn't say nothing. And so we get in the car in the Rose, and O'Neal was driving us up. So we hit Sylvia's. So Heavy D.
Big shout out O'Neal.
Yeah, we go to Sylvia's, and Heavy D walk in, and so me and Heavy D, we all chop it up for a minute. O'Neal sitting in the outside, you know, in the Rolls Royce. You know, you let O'Neal come in, and so he looked at me. He said, "Drano," he said, "don't pump up the music like that." He said, because if it's whack, you give the people expectations that, you know what I'm saying, like you're making it too big, and the music was whack. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on. But he did coin the phrase "whack juice."
Yeah, yes.
Whack juice.
Can't get no whack juice on you.
Yeah. Because he was, I'll be sure I can contest, he was always teaching. He taught me so much. He was always teaching, man. He was just a hell of a teacher, man. And drop gems and jewels on you. You know what I mean? That's
True.
what I miss about Dre, man.
Yeah, we definitely miss him as a part of my life, and definitely part of our culture. But like the Uptown movie is still gonna come out. I'm looking forward to casting, man, because Al, I'm like, tell me Quincy is up for your part to play you in the movie.
Let me tell you something. I think that has actually probably been trending because ever since, because you know, we actually when we were in the Dallas market, and Robbie came down, and because the last casting we did was in Dallas. So Robbie Reed, of course, the brilliant Robbie Reed, and Andre came down, and we did all the promotion, you know, on the radio station, our Dallas affiliate, 94.5, and we had a ball, and we had a blast, and all the young people came out, and it was amazing just to see, and you know, like to me, the most fun I think was watching the people audition to be Devontae Swing.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's just because it was a whole thing. You know, they come up with the don't talk, just listen. I lied when I told you I never want to see you again. Can you please? So, and then, but for me, because imagine sitting there, and you know, every producer has what they call their thriller. So Jodeci's first album was my thriller, you know, from writing Forever My Lady, and you know, because I produced that, you know, the whole album with Devontae and the guys, you know, Come and Talk to Me, Stay, I'm Still Waiting, all those records, and it was fascinating because these young cats, these young kids at the time from Charlotte, Monroe, big shout out North Carolina, everybody listening and watching in North Carolina, man, they were just so talented, and to have them come. They were actually, when they first came, they were my demo singers. So everybody's living up in the house I was up in Croton and Hudson. So it was Faith Evans, Dave Hollister, who's probably watching now. Dave, what up, Dave?
Wow.
Dave Hollister, Faith Evans, Casey and JoJo, Stevie J was like, so we had, you know, Lade, we had a whole case. Anthony Hamilton came through. I mean, I still have demos. In fact, I wish I could pull something out. I have demos with songs I would cut because I would want to work with an artist. So I got a song with like Barry White, Dave Hollister, Faith Evans, and Michael McDonald. Like, wow, like we are the world on steroids, you know, just things of that nature. So it was just
what was it like being? What was it like being in that whole group? Like living through that?
Well, I enjoyed it because my success was so. You know, just unimaginable. And all of a sudden, we're doing Madison Square Garden 4 nights in a row, and every city selling out 25,000. So, but my concern was always, how can I help the next one? So, you know, the term, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. And I think the most significant part was, it was great to have this training because working with Faith Done. Big shout out Faith. And Faith, and then watching her, because she was so talented. She lived in the bricks. You know, she's from Jersey. She was going to church, you know, where my mother goes to church. And she came through with Kyma Griffin. She was just a driver at one point, and I heard her singing in the background. I don't know if you saw her Uncensored, you know, just recently. And she was just truly amazing. And I would just sit there and, I would, write the song, and then she started writing as well. And then Dave Hollister. It's just, man, it was just such an amazing time. But I think the key to it was everybody had an opportunity to learn, just like I learned from Teddy Riley. People didn't realize Andre put me on the train and said, yo, go to Harlem, and I want you to meet this guy named Theodore, and I want you to go sit underneath him. And Teddy, so I had Kyle West on one side, who taught me stuff musically along with my grandfather. And then I spent a lot of time with Teddy Riley, and Teddy taught me actually song arrangement and programming. So that's why, like, your neck breaks. When you hear our records, you hear that New Jack Swing, why your neck just can't, my neck still hurts right now, and I'm 51. Like, and yeah, it was just an amazing time. But again, that was Dre's vision. So I learned that part, and then I learned the polish from Quincy Jones. So that prepared me to do 112, Tevin Campbell, Jodeci,
Wow.
Rod Stewart, Robert Plant, like all of that production stuff. And then we just started to just truly, I started to enjoy it more instead of being out in front. So when people say, yo, what happened to LB? Like,